The Mayan calendar ended in 2012. A case could and has been made for the possibility that time as we knew it prior had ended. Some believe we all died in 2012. One thing's for certain, the Mayans measured time astrologically and not technologically. Cern has done a very convincing job on the technological posturing to the public. Cern is short for Cernunos. Responsible for the rituals that cause the Mandela effect and supposedly even the internet, Cern runs a large hadron collider in Switzerland. Zionists and scientists such as Albert Einstein were unable to reconcile the inconsistencies of physics on a macro scale, so those like Schrödinger and Higgs decided to go micro. Quantum mechanics. Having studied quantum physics for years, I began to notice the same characteristics of NASA as CERN. Curiously, humanity has never even seen an atom, let alone a Higgs boson. Quantum mechanics relies on a few postulated properties of particles. Quantum physics has been called spooky action at a distance. One famous and frankly foundational experiment is the double-slit experiment. This experiment is said to prove that light exists as both a wave and a particle. Doesn't a drop of water in the ocean exist as both a wave and a particle? Firstly, a wave is a description of characterized motion, not an object. Secondly, not only has a photon never been observed or proven, the term alone was rebuked by the likes of Nikola Tesla. Prior to the fraud Albert Einstein, the scientific community and alchemists of the times had studied and identified what could be called the ether. This prima materia of the monad is the substance of base reality and code in this realm. Everything exists and travels within the ether. Alchemists discovered how to successfully manipulate this material in order to change base metals into gold. Ether is space. The ether has properties of physics like light, electricity, and magnetism. There is no such thing as gravity. This is a farce of a force. So preposterous and boisterous, one can only laugh at the feeble attempts to explain a lie. Light does not travel per se. E equals mc squared is a useless formula. The real reason why light speed is agreed upon as the fastest rate of travel in this reality is that speed is a rate of induction. Electricity and magnetism operate similarly. Electricity is not the transfer of unobservable electrons moving from one place to another. Light would not be able to travel through the supposed vacuum of space. You could cut a magnet in half and you would have two magnets with both a positive and a negative side, like a hologram or a fractal. Magnetism is the closed loop of natural polarity, whereas electricity and light are the varying arcs of discharges of energy of the ether. It is interesting and telling that every computer-generated picture of particles and planets fit pentagrams and hexagons like those imagined by NASA on the North Pole of Saturn. It is quite possible there is a hexagonal storm on some distant planetary body named Saturn, but relying on some forged documents and data of NASA should be reassessed. The Goddard Tunnel ritual of CERN's grand opening was an open infomercial to the informed. The halls of Cern are filled with deities of destruction and 7-foot-tall scriptures. There is no doubt they are attempting to tear a hole in our dimension, but is more than likely being done through ritual magic and not technology. The head of CERN visited Pindar's middle management meeting at the Bilderberg Group, delivering the message from the abyss, Tekel. The supposed science behind the acquisition of this message was the use of quantum entanglement. By entangling two particles, an action on one particle instantaneously affects the other, regardless of the distance. The scientists at CERN decidedly correlated the spin and velocity of the particle with an alphabetic and numeric value. Using the Large Hadron Collider, they were able to send one of the entangled particles outside of the space-time dimension. The twin particle left within our dimension was then measured and deciphered, revealing none other than a word in Old Hebrew, Tekel. Tekel equates to the loose meaning of being weighed in the hands of God and deemed insufficient. The script writers of this reality are very creative in their extravagant conceptions. Regardless of the means, the end results were the same. The deconstruction and reconstruction of reality remembered.